Hi, I'm Ryan Ingebrigtsen. I'm here at Whitewater State Park, and I am here getting ready for Songpath, which is a self-guided listening hike. But more than that, it's a bit of a spiritual meditation in which the listener comes more consciously into their ears. I try to get them through meditation and through some exercises to hear the sounds more intimately. Essentially, the Songpath to me is something where I come to a space, something about it resonates to me, and I try to draw as much out of the space as I can for the listener. I'm trying in these Songpaths to be very careful in the use of musicians, in that I would like them to help me help the park speak for itself. Here at Whitewater, I'm using musicians, placing them in different places around the park and the different valleys, working very hard to try to find the perfect place for each of those musicians to go, places that really resonate. And as they make higher, lower, louder, softer sounds, they end up stimulating different parts of the local surrounding they're in, as well as the general overall surrounding, and also the sounds of animals, birds, these sorts of things that are in the park. As you move, you notice the character of these sounds really shift and transform themselves. When you're able to really listen deeply and keep all these sounds in your ear, it can be a really amazing musical experience. What I want to do is to take that moment, that musical structure, and kind of turn it on its ear by then moving away from it and seeing how that sound, once I get the listener focused on it, how does that sound transform itself when they get to 100 feet away, and how does it transform itself when you get 200 feet away? And does the focus change because the birds you were hearing at first mixing with the river are still here, but now they're mixing with some some insects, or a hawk in the distance, or the sound of wind becomes a little more present. I guess as a composer, I'm trying to let everything work on many different levels, and let my mind go where it wants to go, and in the hopes that the listener, whether they be someone who's very interested in modern music, or someone who's interested in minimalist music, or someone that's interested in dance music, or someone that's not interested in music at all, could have a really profound experience. The meditation I do at the beginning, the one thing I certainly don't want to accomplish with it is to scare anyone away from the Songpath. But what I do want to accomplish is just to get them to really listen to what's in the space. And we start with a little bit of breathing and kind of listening to your own breath and listening to the rhythms that creates, and then listening to the individual sounds you're hearing presently by themselves and focusing on them and really kind of dissecting them. I wouldn't say tuning out any sound you're hearing, because every sound you're hearing is part of the piece, but tuning out your daily thoughts, the things that your mind kind of wanders to when you have a little peace and quiet. So my goal is to really try to impart the gift of listening, in the hopes that people that go on this tour will leave here and be able to create these experiences for themselves, because I think listening and really focusing on sound on a level that kind of washes away their survival instinct role of sound is really therapeutic, very helpful, and also I want to create a great musical experience. It's more of a test of your own ability to accept what's there and to let go of your notions of what you want. And as a composer, that's sometimes a very difficult thing to do, because you spend your whole life working on something till it's exactly how you wanted it to sound, what in your ear is what you wanted, and are you hearing what you want, and you sometimes consider it to be a failure if it's not. But I guess that's something that Songpath is teaching me. Your ear is more important than your notions or your ability to hear a melody before it goes on paper, or your technique, and in certain ways that the technique of listening and accepting is very important. This is going to be an experience that'll really change the way I compose in a lot of ways, the way I think about approaching sound and music.